Hello everyone, JR10 Desert Gold. A few days ago I put out a video on getting more value for your purchases, especially for brewing kits such as these, and more specifically Pinter kits. I have been looking around to get better value for my purchases, and I'm coming up with some pretty decent solutions. Also, I got a surprise last night. I got another delivery, and this one is the that's a 2.5 gallon ball lock mini keg. I decided that I'm getting kind of bored with, or fed up with, I should say, the 1 gallon kits that are around. They are a lot of work for a very little reward. There aren't any 1 gallon kits that I'm aware of anyway that are flash brews, so you have to use all of the old-fashioned stuff, boiling and sanitizing, which sanitizing carries through everything, but boiling and making sure your temperatures are all correct, and then you got the cleanup that you normally would have, but for a smaller reward. So I'm probably going to get rid of all of my 1 gallon kegs, and I've got this one, which like I said is 2.5 gallons. I've also got another 2.6 gallon keg that's in the kegerator right now that currently has the Hop Prophecy for More Beer, which is this company here, and that one turned out wonderful. So yeah, I think I'm done with 1 gallon. The one we brewed, or I showed you in the first video, was this Irish Red Ale, and these cans produce 6 gallons. So 6 gallons out of this can, and that is 23 liters, which is 48 pints, right? So today what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with this brown ale that I got, and same deal. Both of these are exactly the same idea as Pinters and these flash brews. They're all pre-processed, and everything that you would be doing with a regular beer with the hops and the grains has already been done for you. So all you do is you measure out the amount of extract that you want, mix it in some water. If you don't want to mess with anything else, dump it in the Pinter, put the yeast in, and in a few weeks you've got beer. I'm going to probably do a little bit more. I've already planned on adding another pound of DME to this, which I will hopefully make it more detailed in the video and hopefully not screw up too much. But anyway, we're going to put this in my other Pinter, and it should be, when we're all said and done, it's going to be about 8%, somewhere in that area, ABV. And I'm also going to add in some orange blossom honey, because I like orange blossom honey, and secondly, the yeast I'm using, the Kivik Voss yeast, produces some very citrus forward results, and that should fall in line with my idea here. So it's worth a try. Like I said, I'm experimenting with all this stuff, looking for ways to get good beer at a cheaper price. So we're going to get started on that, get the brown ale going, and then we'll take it from there. All right, so this is the preliminary setup here. I've got about a half a gallon of water that we're going to warm up so that we can dissolve the DME a little easier. And then we'll add the dry extract, malt extract, DME, and we'll just blend that all together, pour it in the Pinter, and we're done. That's how easy these things are. The hardest part is pouring out an extract like this. So we'll put it on a scale here. We're going to, obviously we turned it. I got this scale on Amazon, and I love this thing, man. It's accurate. It doesn't look bad for a kitchen scale, and it works every time. So we're going to go to 900 grams, which is 2 pounds. It's moving pretty quick. Oh, I love the dark color. It's kind of nice. Oh, and you can smell the malts already. Oop. 919. Well, I'll tell you what. 920. I'm probably going to use, or 20 grams at least is going to be stuck to the glass. So, what we're going to do, warm this up. And we're not going to boil it. We're just going to loosen it up so that it dissolves better in the water. That way, when you pour it into the Pinter, it won't be globs of DME hanging out at the bottom or running into the dock, but it still has a wonderful malt aroma. The golden DME didn't lighten up the wort at all, so it's a beautiful dark brown. And as I said, we're going to add about half a cup of orange blossom honey. And that is it, my friends. This is done. And I know it seems like it took forever, but I was just trying to stay organized enough to explain what I'm doing. And this actually, it took longer for the water to warm up than it did to do everything else. So I like these flash brews are a real help to people getting into brewing, or people who've been in brewing but are lazy like myself. It's just wonderful. Now it's ready to go in the Pinter. I've got the Pinter over here, and just to make sure what our temp is. We're at 118. Alright, this actually is the hardest part for me. For those of you who know me, I've had trimmers for most of my adult life, and things like this are a big challenge. That's why I got a wide mouth funnel here. That way, keep the mess at a minimum. And because like a second ago I was too high on it and it almost went over the edge. But this is perfectly in the Pinter, and it creates a barrier. If I spill some of this wort in there without this, I'll miss. As wide a hole as that opening is, I still make a mess, and it gets the potential of the sugars getting onto the threading of the main cap. Beautiful brown. It's gonna make a nice ale. All right, big challenge is over. Now, we need to add water to the magic line in the Pinter. And I'll go grab some I don't care about spilling water. Perfect. Screw the top on. Open. Temperature now is at 93 degrees. This is the yeast I was talking about. This is it's a very aggressive yeast. The neat thing about this, as I mentioned earlier, it loves high fermentation temperatures, so you don't have to worry about, trying to chill wort down to get into the fermenting zone for these others. This actually, the other thing that this is good about, right now it's at 104, is that what I said? This prefers to be pitched at temperature of 104, so you don't have to cool the wort down. It's already ready for the yeast, and in fact it ferments best at 104 degrees. It jump starts the yeast. It gives it a clean, attenuating fermentation that brings out some citrus notes and other flavors that this is known for. So we're going to pitch this right now. I don't have to wait for anything to cool down. Well, as luck would have it, my wife walked in, already started in on me, so I stopped the camera. But I did pitch this. It's in here now, and what we're going to do is... Okay, so we've gotten past all the chaos that occurred during the final steps in the brewing process, and as you can see, I transferred it to the Pinter keg, and I put it on, obviously, the dock. And one thing I forgot to mention while I was going over the yeast fundamentals was the one thing I forgot to say about that Kveik yeast. The neatest part, in my opinion, is I put this on today, and in 3 days the fermentation will be complete. So it's a speedy fermentation, and it completes it within 3 days. So I'm gonna be, in a couple of days here, a few days, I'm gonna be pulling this off and do a quick check on the fermentation and see how well it did. And my wife reminded me I had a package out front, so when I went out and grabbed it, it turned out to be this collaboration with Legonitis and Pinter, and this is their Legonitis something easy. So, as I mentioned in my first video, I regretted actually ordering this because at the time I was planning on doing a comparison between this expensive one and something from more beer, like this fresh pressed IPA. And as time went on, I just, I get more aggravated about it. And the reason that it bothers me is because this, with shipping and handling, everything came to $51. It's $51 for 12 pints. That comes out to, I think, about $4.25. I can't be positive about it, but it is over $4 for 12 pints of beer. Now, for example, this is a 2-gallon IPA from More Beer, and this is, like I said, the fresh pressed, and this is their Irish Stout. Both of them, again, they're all two-gallon kits. I bought this one and this one at the same time, and the total came to $64. And I had, I guess at the time, that I had a $10 coupon, so I actually got it for $54. But let's say that there's no coupons available and you have to pay the $64. Is it worth it? Well, if you're going to buy a 1.5 gallon 12 pint kit for $51, then, well, let's look at this. This is $64, but you get 16 pints in the 2 gallons. So you have 16 and 16, that's 32. 32 pints for $64. What does that work out to? Yeah, works out to $2 a pint. Is it 63 cents? No, obviously. But it's half the price of that one. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm not going to put this in a pinter because I'd be losing 4 pints of beer. So what I'm going to do is add some more DME and ferment it in the one of the Mr. Beers and bring it up to 2 gallons, and that way I get 16 pints for the $51 instead of 12. It'll be fine, and then I'll probably put it in my new 2-gallon mini keg over there. But bottom line is, you should be looking for ways to stretch your dollar whenever you can, because you want to put your money into this and not overpriced things like this. It's like you buying the name or you buying the product. So that's just my personal opinion, okay? So you guys might disagree with it, but I'd much rather be paying $2 a glass instead of $4.25 a glass. And it's even better when you're only doing it for 63 cents a glass, which in a little bit I'm going to be running out there and grabbing some of that. Anyway, I hope you at least got some information out of this, something that might work for you or something that might have interested you. But, you know, bottom line is there's a lot of resources out there that you can turn to and find less expensive ways to put a beer together than what's available on the surface. Anyway, have fun, be safe. This is JR10 Desert Gold out.